Welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, January 9th, 2022. Time is 7:01. Happy New Year, everybody. First item, orders to be signed. We have those on the table. Meeting minutes, October 3rd and October 17th. Do we want to look at those?
Yeah,
Okay.
if I can find it.
Love this new binder.
October 3rd, one of them?
Yes.
Yeah, I looked at that, it looked okay to me. So I'll make a motion if you want it.
Anyone else comments? Changes?
I just looked at it briefly and couldn't find it.
Okay. Mark?
I didn't look at it, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right, did I hear a motion?
If they're okay, but yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written for October 3rd, 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Joe. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
And the other one
Mike?
just showed up. I haven't looked at it. Maybe
That's
somebody
okay.
else has.
That's all right. I'll call in the vote.
Oh,
Mike Greco?
hi.
Perfect. Mark, you were absent. Yeah, and Katie Grace, you were absent also.
Thank you.
Abstain, okay. And Tracy Sharkey, aye.
We got a surprise guest there?
What?
We got a surprise guest up there?
Yes, yes. Coming in. Yep. You can see it.
There you go.
Cute. Awesome. Okay, Mike, what did you say about October 17th?
First time I've seen it, so I haven't
Okay.
looked at it.
So let's hold those. Okay, number 3, letter of intent, Walnut Street. So Steve
Yep, after-
has,
So the recommendation from the commission went to the selectmen about the incomplete application from the last time we discussed this, last fall. So
yeah,
the selectmen agreed. And they redid I think they redid their application, which is in front of you, and it's more specific, I believe, just to that one lot, which is highlighted. You see tab, under tab 3,
yes.
you'll see the parcel.
So this is the same property, kind of. They're requesting some feedback. What is our recommendation to the Board of Selectmen? So this is just for the 2.07 shown on the map.
You wanna-
So we can request them to exercise, not exercise, or a different type of motion. The last time we went back, it was to have them look into it further for any protections that the town may want, I believe, for conservation-wise, right? Katie Grace, do you remember this? So they've revised their request just to include the one lot of 2.07 acres.
Okay. And that's the one house lot that's not in the riparian zone?
No, it is.
Part of it is.
Okay.
It's the parcel all the way to the left from the road.
Okay. And we're saying that wasn't part of the land that was considered in the deed restriction?
See. So
I
this,
mean, and it's okay if they take it out of chapter 61A and it's still covered by the deed restriction. I just want to understand why they're trying to take it out of 61A if it's going to stay under the deed restriction.
Well, it's, The deed restriction, I should have got the other conditions from last time. This lot has the house on it, as it's shown in the plan,
Yep,
and that's, I think they're taking it out so they can sell the house.
right,
And the deed restriction is riverfront, associated with the riverfront.
right.
So they can't use any more riverfront area associated with any of the other lots.
Correct.
Okay, so this is the lot that we already approved. This isn't the lot that's allowing them to have
No,
the space.
no, you're correct, because the whole entire lot is pretty much in the riverfront area. So we have that parcel A, the 20.30 acres, as there's no further riverfront area disturbance allowed than what we've proposed.
To answer your question,
Okay, so
to answer your
the
question,
right of first refusal lot is an already approved housing lot?
Yes,
Okay.
Is this, any of these items on here pertaining to that issue? What are you on?
so we're at
You lost me.
number 3, which is
Letter of intent.
they're trying to take the one lot at this moment out of chapter land in order to develop it. So they've requested to do that, and it's required, and we need to give a recommendation back to the Board of Selectmen. So
Yeah, so it's just the 2.1 acres?
2.07, yeah. If you want to round up, yeah.
Yeah, then I would, I don't know if you need a motion yet.
Yes.
If everybody's ready. But
I would love a
say that
motion.
We should recommend to the Board of Selectmen not to exercise their right to purchase the land.
Okay, thank you. Motion's been made.
I'll second.
Second by Joe. All those in favor?
Eric Garrett, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Meisner, no.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. So next item, 229 Southeast Main Street tree removal. So that's going to be at tab 4. So is anyone here on behalf of this discussion item? Is it you? Oh,
Yeah.
name and address?
My name is Lundy Peterson, 229 Southeast Main Street. I'm here to listen to see what the vote is. I also want to say that if it's okay for me to drop those trees, I will have Stanley Tree Removal come in with a lift to take it down and making sure that any of those trees are not falling on the neighbor's property, even if it just lands on the ground.
Okay,
I don't want that to happen.
right, okay.
I appreciate those. Steve, is Steve here?
He is.
I appreciate your effort.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve, would you like to walk us through?
Let's see if I can bring the video.
What are you looking for? Mark?
Discussion from the meeting about
Oh. 2 times ago,
So this
Right?
is the, let me see if I can-
before December 12th.
oh, can you, so everyone should see in your package, everyone should have a PowerPoint,
Yeah.
and it kind of shows the Town of Douglas, the conservation parcel. Mm-hmm. This is the Keven property, and then there's a little neck that comes off of, and I blew it up, you can see there's a little neck that comes off of, let's see if I can get this on the screen.
Okay, so it's just the double? The one set there?
There are two trees right next, essentially they have the same stump,
Yes.
but there is another piece, a tree that's leaning heavily. It's only about 6 inches at the trunk. And I would like to ask, that's also sitting in the same linear with the other two trees.
So on the screen
Okay.
here, on the TV screen, you'll see the Keevan property. It's a big piece, and this little red dot up on here is where the access road is. The gentleman lives at this house to the right of it. Really slow.
And you're okay to have the stump remain?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
He's putting a shed up right about here, which is right about here. And a couple of trees here and this tree here, right?
And they're
Well,
dead?
there's Total of three. Two that we talked about, and the third one is the one that's leaning.
Okay.
That I'd rather see if we can get rid of it. And the location of those three trees, in my opinion, is on the borderline between our property and the access road.
And where's the location of the wetland?
Wetland?
Across the street?
Well, wetlands are probably, wetlands are way down.
Okay.
It's because it's on town property, it's on
It is?
conservation.
It looks like very close.
Well, he's in front of us because he thinks it's on conservation land, right?
It's either on my property or the whatever you call that access road that goes
Yeah.
down to Keevan's total property.
Okay,
It's within inches.
okay.
Steve, is that your opinion too?
Well,
No,
I have no opinion.
no opinion. Yeah, so it's close, it's close. Okay, I see now. All right, board, Katie Grace, anything? Any objection or questions? Maybe busy. Anyone else? Questions?
Yeah, I guess the only thing, I know in the past, when the gentleman, when this first property, Keevan property first got donated to the commission, he did some work on behalf of the town.
Yeah, I did.
And so at that time, we came up with a waiver form, liability waiver form. So because he's working on town property, that I would recommend that he go in front of the selectman or the town administrator's office and get that form and fill it out because, you know, it's town property.
Yeah,
Maybe.
And so right, the first
Maybe, yeah.
step, maybe, but the first step would be the commission, to, you know, to approve them doing work on the conservation land, and then I would have them take the second step, like even doing maintenance, or if it's, I don't know, they have to approve it, or they might have to sign off on the waiver.
yeah, how did that restriction read when we took it, the land?
Well, this came after the fact.
Okay,
Well, that, I don't think there was any, on property.
controlling, yeah. Okay, all right, board, do we have any objections? I wouldn't even have the condition to keep the stump. If you want to, you can. I thought that this was within a jurisdictional area, so you don't, if you want to take the stump out, you can, is all I'm saying.
You're saying that's okay for me to do
Yes,
that?
yes,
Take the trees out.
yes.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to call a vote, but I'm saying the stump. You can do whatever you want. So I'll entertain a motion to allow the removal of the 3 trees mentioned with the signing of the waiver and any other conditions that need to be met in order to do the activity.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Mark. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Casey Dudley, aye.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Steve,
get that,
Thanks again.
yeah, get that little waiver. If you can email it to him, that would be
Yeah, he
good.
might have it, but from the last time. Send me an email and I'll send it to you.
Okay. And I'm going to continue to keep, there's some nice paths down in that lot. Keevan's.
Yep.
And there are people using it with their horses and other things. And so I've done it several years, for a number of years, just trying to keep it clean. So the fallen trees down and so on, I'll keep cleaning it up.
Okay, great. Thank you. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And thanks you for your help.
Yep. Request for a certificate of compliance, Joel A. Smith, 61 Linden Street. And so 0488 and 0551.
I can pull it up on the assessors if you want me to. So basically, what this is, Joel Smith had some property up at Perry Street. He owned a lot of land. 61 Linden Street. What happens is when you have a large, typically sometimes it happens on a subdivision, when you have a large 100-acre parcel, and there's an order of conditions, there's a subdivision or dividing the property. That master deed, the original order of conditions goes on that master deed, then they start dividing property after.
Right.
And so, because of the master deed was originally, the order of conditions was on that first parcel, which was like 100 acres, every time you divide it, and then even though there's no wetlands or conservation permit on 61 Linden did not have to file with the Conservation Commission. When they do a title search to sell the house, they go back far enough, they get sucked into that original order of conditions. So they're asking for a partial certificate of compliance, which would mean the original order stays, but any work associated with 61 Linden Street is not associated with that order of conditions. So
There's no wetlands in the area of that?
no, I checked both 61 septic plan, and the house is wetlands right next to it, a little bit to the left, but this lot is all outside of the buffer zone, across the street and anywhere around it.
Okay. So both of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
There's both, and I have them here, I have the files for Linden Street. They're both off of Perry Street. These two DEP numbers.
Okay.
Not even on Linden Street.
I will entertain a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 61 Linden Street, Lot 13, and parcel B and part of parcel 29. So moved. Eric, second by Joe. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangiamai.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Okay, we'll get those signed tonight.
Yep.
Now, we're going to move discussion up. The emergency order issued for Shore Road Culvert, peer review report from Graves Engineering, as well as well, let's just take that for now. Steve, why don't you go first?
The commission, for the item number 12,
Yes.
the commission requested a peer review for the culvert on Shore Road. And that came in. And so copies in everyone's package.
Oh, there?
And a copy was sent to town council.
Oh, here it is.
Everyone
Okay.
have a colored copy in the package, yep.
Yep, so that's under tab 17.
I also made a couple of copies in case you wanted to hand it out.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. So, do we have Walsh on? Is anyone here for?
He's not here, no.
Okay.
He could be, but figured.
Well, we just got this.
What item are we on now?
Well,
We're on 12,
11.
and it's under tab 17.
I don't have anything.
No, it's tab 12,
Oh,
isn't
you
it?
don't?
yeah,
No, they all follow the,
Except for
agenda.
mine. Mine's in 17.
I don't know why.
Maybe it
just want to see
started.
if you were awake tonight.
Yeah.
We're in 12.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So did anyone else get a chance to review? So fast forwarding, I just did a little perusing and very thorough report, peer review report. And if you go to the findings and recommendations, so the 8-inch diameter culvert does not have enough capacity for a 2-year storm event, and 12-inch culvert has sufficient capacity for a 2-year storm event and nearly enough capacity for a 10-year storm event under the conditions that were analyzed. And the recommendations were also to add the impoundment at the inlet end of the culvert to be made as deep as reasonably possible. considering safety concerns, grading, et cetera, to maximize the flow of water into the culvert. So I think that this has achieved what we were trying to find out on the sufficiency of that pipe that's existing there. Katie Grace, did you have any comments on that?
I did not, I mean, that's the same data point that we were all looking for. I didn't get a chance to read the report. Are there any comments? I know in our letter from the neighbors, they had talked about impacts of the elevation of 115. Was there any address to that? I mean, I can open the report too.
No. No, I don't recall that there was anything for the grading change, the change in grading.
Okay.
It was my understanding that you separated that out and you just wanted the pipe.
Okay, yeah,
And he came in, we had him come in for clarification in the meeting in October.
okay.
That's why I think he even puts in his report for discussion.
Okay. So our town council could not make it here tonight, so I would request that we keep this on under discussion to see what the next steps are. Everyone can review it. We received it December 30th, so everyone can have a chance to review it. And as far as the terms and conditions of replacing the pipe, I think it was with the councils. They were corresponding on timing and all that. So we can, Steve, keep that on under discussion.
He can't make it till, I think, February, first meeting in February.
February 6th. So we'll continue the emergency order item to our February 6th agenda.
So what date?
February 6th?
Thank you.
Attorney Potash, did you want to say anything on the emergency order portion?
Oh, thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you for moving up the matter. My clients are in Florida, and they're prepared to, as soon as the board issues the emergency order and the town gives them permission, they're prepared to put in the replacement pipe. Now, because of the winter, it would have to be done late March, early spring at the earliest because of the ground. And Mr. Kowalski, who is their consultant, who I think will be on tonight, he will supervise them getting the pipe, getting the contractor, a licensed contractor, the excavator, and making sure that the pipe is installed in accordance with the emergency order.
Okay, there has been one issued, so I'm not sure, we'd have to consult with town council on where that stands.
Yeah, I've talked to him. I tried to reach Mr. Winter today, but I don't think there's a problem on that. We'd like to have approval to do it as soon as possible so we can order the pipe and hire the contractor and make sure at the first available time that weather allows that we can get the work done. I believe, I'm told that it can be done in about 1 day, and we have to clear it, of course, with the police and the street department, so the road is closed off and everything is appropriate.
Right, yeah, it's the ordering of the materials that may take a little bit longer. Yeah,
I'm told about 4 to 6 weeks for the material, the concrete pipe.
okay. Okay, very good. We would request if you and Attorney Winter could negotiate everything, between the two of you and then report to the board type of thing. I think that's the way that we want it. Right, Steve? that they should be corresponding directly, and then Attorney Winter should be providing the board with the updates.
That was my understanding from town
I'll be
administrator.
glad to contact.
Yeah, because now we don't have an applicant, I don't think, for this
I
portion.
think Attorney Winter took over the project months ago.
Okay. Okay, all right, so we'll get that on for February 6th, but hopefully everything can get worked out before that day.
I will contact you right away and attempt to work that out so we can have the pipe in place as soon as the weather clears.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Love to hear that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item. Glenn, hi.
Hi, Glenn Kowalski, thank you, Commissioner. I've been listening. Thank
We are, yep, I see that you're here on the phone. We're going to put the emergency order under discussion for February 6th. And I'm moving forward
Thank you,
to, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm moving,
I have it noted.
okay, good. I'm moving forward to the request for a certificate of compliance for 115 Shore Road. So I believe it was about a month ago that I had strongly suggested to get the application in before our meeting so that we can review it and we have some time to look at things. If there was questions, we could ask the applicant for questions. But for some reason, the as-built was just submitted today. So we had an incomplete application until today, the day of the meeting.
I believe we sent it in before, and we sent another copy in FedEx last Thursday. We sent the package in to make sure that you had it.
Do you know the FedEx?
Attorney Winter, there was an email on Thursday, that, you know, we posted it on the agenda anticipating it. The email was just a cover sheet.
The email was a cover sheet from Thursday, but you're saying that you FedExed a package that said delivered on Thursday?
We sent in Thursday, we sent in a whole packet of plans and everything, the matter from Alpha Omega Engineering and the letter report from Mr. Kowalski. We FedExed a cover letter directly as instructed last meeting by the commission directly on Thursday. You should have had it. You should have had it Friday morning delivered by. As far as I understand, it was delivered by FedEx.
Yeah. I came in, we got like this, we were looking for, I mean, I didn't see anyone in.
Who signed for it? Was there a signature?
It includes WPA Form 8A, request for certificate
we got it.
of compliance.
You got it today.
On all of the work on the outside of the house has been completed, and the only thing on the compliance that's on the as-built plan is the approved handicap access ramp was eliminated and a 4-foot walkway was installed for the letter report of Alpha Omega Engineering 12-1. The native shrubs have been planted along the southerly lot line, and the approved grading for the lake was eliminated, and the retaining walls were installed to keep existing natural grade, and which are only minor, don't affect the resource area. We're asking for a certificate of compliance to be approved.
Stamped in today, so
I
we
believe
didn't.
Mr. Kowalski could speak to that also.
Okay, I was asked, back to my first question. Who signed for the package? Everything's stamped in January 9th.
I don't have that originally, I'm not at home, but it was directed to Mr. Zisk and to you.
Yep, I see that.
The Douglas Conservation Commission at the address of the town hall, and it was addressed to both of you, which I thought was appropriate on it.
That's-
And I included everything, including two copies of the as-built of the as-built plan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was anticipating, I didn't see it Friday or Saturday. It was on, Community Development must have, but they should really, as we said before, address everything, not to me, you, to the Conservation Commission.
Right.
It was addressed to the commission.
Okay.
It was addressed to Mr. Stephen B. Sisk and Ms. Tracy Sharkey, Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas 01516, and with a letter setting forth on it, and I would mention that it was 12 and 13 on the agenda for this evening. And the outside work is all complete, and Mr. Jaworski confirmed that. And I also talked to the engineer at Alpha Omega, who I believe may be on Zoom tonight also, who also did address that with him also. So the commission should have everything that you need to approve the as-built plan. All the outside work on this house is absolutely complete, and I confirmed that with my clients before they left for Florida, and I've talked to them since.
Steve, do you have pictures?
No.
Okay.
Everything goes through Brian Winters.
Okay. So as far as a site visit
Commission should probably
to the
schedule-
location,
Probably schedule sites.
so you guys don't have the packet because it's right here, just stamped in on January 9th, so.
You came in today, I think a copy was put in, not the full set plan, but a copy was put into everyone's package for tonight.
Oh, okay. Then mine must be in a different location.
The clerk for conservation made a copy that you received it today,
Okay.
put into everyone's folder
Okay. All right.
under 12 or what item is that, number 13.
Yeah, I don't think I have it.
There's also a letter from the neighbor that was Jean Lawrence,
Yes.
dated December 5th.
Jean Lawrence, Madeline Myers, Evie Sutter, December 5th, 2022 is in our packet, part of the record.
Excuse me, can I get a copy of that?
Sure. And name and address for the record.
Tiffany, Diane and Bob Miller's daughter.
Okay.
And I know that we were supposed to have copies of all the other complaints from, I believe, Mr. Zisk.
What? Okay.
Yeah, all the complaints that have been sent into the town.
We give everything to the,
Community Development is the keeper of the
we
records.
give it to Brian Winter, we're instructed
Yeah.
to have everything go to Attorney Winter.
Okay, so Howard Potash has to request it from Attorney Winter?
Well, you could request it too from, it's a public document. So from Community Development, anytime
Okay,
in the town where the building department is,
okay,
Right.
there should be a running folder
okay,
of everything
okay.
anyway. But yeah, Attorney Potash should be able to get it.
Communicate with themselves.
As far as I know, they have not communicated any of that information.
Okay.
So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, good to know. Okay, board, questions, concerns,
Yeah, site,
opinions? Yeah, I think, number one, we have to wait for our attorney because there's negotiations that need to be taken care of before releasing any responsibilities. So they kind of go hand in hand with the last issue. And then he's not going to be back till February 6th. So do we want to schedule site walk or?
I would do it before February 6th. You don't know what the...
Yeah. Yeah. Attorney Potash, is that all right if we schedule a site visit to the property?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Do you-
The doors are not there, but
I could be there.
yeah.
Okay.
Whiskey will be glad to be there, and the engineer can be there anytime for a site visit.
Okay. Do we want to make a formal, yes, we want to make a formal date and time, so what's everyone thinking?
If I know the date and time, I'll make sure the engineer and Mr. Kowarski are there, and I'll try to be there also.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have a preference? Steve?
Saturdays.
Saturday? Katie Grace, you have anything? Let me see. Any dates, times?
What time Saturday?
I would ask Mr. Kowarski, but any Saturday would be fine for me.
Yes, it is. Thank you for going to us. I'm okay with that, Joe, for attendance.
I'm busy this immediate coming Saturday.
Okay.
I'm looking at the one after that.
21st?
If Glenn come on to speak to the chair, please.
Yep.
I'm not supposed to any coming up Saturday. I just wanted to be concerned. Obviously, it's been warm. We haven't had any snow. We just would want to maybe get this thing done because at some point we are going to get that snow. But we
Yes.
will say that the entire lot has been sawed earlier in the late in the summer, but recent enough that when I was there, it is completely stabilized. So even if there is a little bit of snow, we can push it aside and see it's all grass.
Okay.
I just say that.
Okay. So I would hope for the 21st. January 21st? Do you
I
want
can
to
do
do
the 21st.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock in the morning, that'd be fine with me.
Steve?
10 a.m.
Okay. All right, so we'll set the site walk 10 a.m. on the 21st.
We thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we would also keep that on for the 6th of February also?
Yes. And please, I hope to have some good correspondence between you and our town council before that time.
I will send it out and I'll copy you and Mr. List with the correspondence.
Okay, well,
Well, Brian Winter should.
Brian will send us the correspondence. You don't need to CC us on it. We're just trying to stay in one lane, not 5 lanes. But I appreciate it. Just, you guys just take care of it for us, and then you can present it all in with a bow on it.
All right, thank you. very
Okay,
much. Have a
thank you.
good night. I appreciate it.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, public hearing continued, notice of intent, 83 Island Road, new single-family dwelling. So we are on number 8. So we had some requests, and they have made some changes. How is this dated October 21st? Anyway, just ignore the date. So we had our December 5th meeting, and they have updated the plans in the bulleted list. So if we could just take a moment for that.
Set of the plans is.
The owner is here. Oh,
Anyone else need a set?
Jason Club with Creed Engineering.
Anybody else want to watch?
okay. Thank you, Jason. So you've made some progress. Did you want to just briefly go over the summary of your updates?
Yes, I would be happy to. So, yeah, basically we went through the plan with the number of comments that were discussed at the last hearing. We surveyed the location of trees 6 inches or greater in caliber within limited disturbance and within the property within limited disturbance. So we've got those shown on the plan. We flagged them in the field with ribbon once a given road. We've added additional dimensions to the plan to show the distance from the existing deck and cottage to the flagged wetland edge. We've adjusted the house layout. We worked with the architect to shift a portion portion, kind of the main portion of the house, we were able to shift that a little bit further away, while maintaining kind of the inner workings of the house, which the owner was looking to maintain, but we were able to shift a portion. We removed any work that was along the edge of the water. We had to repair the stone wall, repair the boat ramp, remove that from the application.
Okay, great.
We adjusted the driveway location to shift the hammerhead further out of the 50-foot buffer. We've also tightened up the limited disturbance in other areas where we could to further reduce any disturbances in existing vegetation. I guess overall, we kind of looked at, in addition to making those changes, just kind of noted that in the letter that we wrote, we noted kind of the level of the existing structure that's within the 50. We calculated it's approximately 300 square feet that's located within the 50-foot buffer, and in shifting portions that we shifted out, we were able to get the proposed structure to be approximately 200 square feet. It's within the 50-foot buffer, so we were able to shift that out a little bit further and keep it below existing levels. So that's pretty much sums up the changes. I think we have to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Did you list the number of trees to be removed?
There are 6 trees within the 50-foot perimeter. That was noted in the letter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing, so within the 100, you wouldn't have that number, right?
Yeah, I'd have to count
Okay.
the plan, but it looks like
Are all the trees identified within the limit of work or the erosion control barrier line to be removed, or are some of those staying?
the ones that are within the limit of disturbance are proposed to be removed.
So you're saying, I don't see in the letter, existing trees. Yeah, you don't give a number.
In the letter, we referenced that there were 6 that were within the 50 foot to be removed, and then just counting them, it looks like there's another 8 that are within the 50 to 100.
Do I have a different letter?
I don't see it on the first page. See, it says existing trees within the proposed limit.
Oh, here we go.
6 inches in caliber or greater.
Yep.
Survey located. No.
Okay, yeah, no, it's the second paragraph. Within the 50-foot, 6 trees.
Yeah,
Okay, I got that. I was looking for the number 6. Okay, did you, or do we want to know the number of trees? 50 to the 100?
Well, we can count them.
Yeah, I see them.
Yeah, they're pretty well marked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think there's another 10 on top of those 6.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Most of them are under septic systems, so they definitely have to be removed.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and there's some more that are shown on the plan, but they are outside.
okay, board, any other questions or concerns regarding, I mean, the scope has narrowed, they're not doing the ramp, they're not doing the wall at this moment.
Driveway.
Yep, I think we asked them about that. They were remaining gravel. Steve, anything?
No?
Katie Grace, any comments or questions?
No, I didn't have any questions on this one. My only comment, because I went to the site with Eric, and it would be nice if any of those shade-bearing trees could be replaced with plantings, but I don't know that they have the room to do that. Is there any intent to plant any shrubs or trees in the area after the completion of the construction?
I'm the owner, Barbara Van Essendelt, and we feel very much that we like to be in the woods there. So we love the shady aspect, and we want minimal disturbance, honestly. Yes, we will plant. Also, there are many, many, many young saplings coming up.
And also,
Okay, yes.
also with the
Thank you.
position of the lot, with the kind of the team to the west of the lake, I think it really is going to have kind of minimal impact of shading of the pond just because of the way that the sun's going to travel through the sky. It's really
Erosion control.
on the opposite side where we have more of an impact.
No, that's fair, and that's visible, you know, when you go visit the site, and because our priority is, of course, to shade the water. So again, it'd be nice to have trees either retained or planted closer to the water. When Eric and I did the site, again, I don't have the plan open, and I'm sorry, I apologize for that, but I know Eric and I did the sidewalk, and there were a couple of large trees near the shoreline in question on the left of the existing cabin, because there's that small house shed, fairy house there, and then there's where the area where the well is going to go, and there's some large trees around where that well placement is. Are those being removed, or is the well close enough to the cabin that those are going to be retained?
I see a 12-inch right by the slurry. That's the only one I see.
Okay.
That's coming down.
I just like to speak because hopefully that was clear. When I went there as a child, there were no trees along the line there, and we let them grow in. There was a really large tree there that we had a tire swing on for years and years, and it broke our heart because it rotted and fell down. It was a big oak. But all those little trees there that are growing in, they were not there during my childhood. We will leave them. And in fact, we're dedicated to keeping them on the shore because there's a lot of boat traffic causing a lot of erosion. And we would like the blueberries to grow in there and kind of hold the soil. And, once again, this is, our little cabin in the woods. We have no desire to cut down trees unnecessarily.
It's just so cocky.
Right, so Katie Grace was talking about that big tree next to the little shed there.
What was that lot?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking, sorry, thank you, I'm back. The ones on the left, the ones that are all pines. So when Eric and I visited the site and we looked at the plan, it looks like at the time, the older version of the plan we were looking at only called out the hardwoods. And to Barbara's point, you're right, a lot of the eastern white pines that are there on the shoreline were probably not there, very long ago. I don't have a preference as to whether, like, if the pines have to come down and they end up being replaced with hardwoods, if you want them to have them for posterity, then, that's entirely up to the home. Again, our priority is just shading, and again, with the location of the lot, I think that those trees are the most likely to have any impact to shading. I totally appreciate that you want to keep the lot as wooded as possible throughout, but our priority is the water.
Thank you. Board?
Erosion control.
Yep.
You're calling out on the, let me see where I find it here. On the notes, on the general notes. Number 14, says silt fence or hay bales. But yet if you look at the typical, the second page, they're showing a 12-inch wall, so I don't know which one you're using.
Right, and that's only an issue once you hand these plans off to the person installing them. So the note on number 14 is not corresponding with the detail. So what are we doing for erosion control?
We typically would call out for silt fence, but, you know, if there's a preference for something else, we can.
You're using the detail of the 12-inch stake straw wattle.
Yeah.
So we don't do any hay, and it's
Right.
pretty flat there. I wouldn't,
I'm just curious which one they're using, that's all.
okay. Go with the detail,
Yeah, the wattle's pretty flat.
yeah.
It's more for limited disturbance on something like this. Make sure that they don't clear beyond what they're supposed to.
Right, yeah, barrier, yep. Okay, so, do we want, we'll just specify, we're gonna do the 12-inch. Do you think we need snow fence? No? They can stay in their boundaries? Okay,
So flat.
okay,
I mean, they want to make sure they have extra on hand, so if they start losing an area, everything starts flowing to one area, that they can double that up.
okay. I have no objection for the 12-inch stake straw wattle as shown in the detail on the plan. We just need to make sure that the contractor knows what to do. And Steve will be inspecting beforehand anyway, so
Yeah, so
we'll catch it then.
Want to include that, with the condition.
I can put it in a
foundation plan, make sure
They're not ready,
happens.
so I can have it ready for next meeting.
Okay. The special, we can put it as a special condition. Okay, Katie Grace, were you saying something on mute? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have questions regarding this public hearing? Please raise your hand. Not seeing anyone. So board, we ready to close the hearing?
Move.
So Joe made the motion move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Montemai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions with a special condition of the erosion control being 12-inch stake straw wattles.
So moved.
Motion made by Mark. Second by Joe. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Montemai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take up one more thing so number 11, public hearing continued. So we received an email this morning, or tonight actually, requesting a continuance to the next meeting, January 23rd. So in your packet, under item 11, we have some language out of the Wetlands Protection Act.
So I talked to Margaret. They're going to debate if they're going to just withdraw the entire application or if they want to continue it, and then at a certain date, they would have to re-notify, re-advertise. So they know when that might be, so. She wasn't sure. She wanted to get some confirmation from the owners. What they want to do, so I just suggested one more meeting
Okay, I would like to keep it piggybacking on the culvert, so if, I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to February 6th at 7 PM.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Joe. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
What are we voting on?
Continuing to February 6th.
What one?
Number 11.
Bouncing all around, right?
Sorry about that.
Well, we got binders.
Key agrees?
Basically, aye.
Okay. Yeah, so if you look on your tab 11, which is amazing. I do love these. Thank you, Jen. It was all Jen.
Yeah, Jen, wow, yes, she's doing all the legwork.
Yes. So that kind of walks through instructions on these lingering public hearings that, you know, people could be selling their properties at this point and nobody would know a project's proposed. So that's why re-notifying, re-advertising, or if they're going to withdraw is their other option. Okay. Bob's not on, right?
See,
Okay.
so we can wait.
Okay. All right. And we have public hearing continued. This is going to be number 9. Notice of intent, Lot 2R, 21 Birch Street. Come on down, name and
Tab
address.
number 9.
Number nine. Bob Murphy, representing Judy Barron. 2 lots, lots 2 and 3. Number 9 maybe lot 2. Lot 2, 21 Birch Street. We have revised the plan since the last public hearing. I submitted hard copies to the commission a while ago. And basically, everything we discussed at the last hearing, we added an extensive number of notes to essentially hold the contractor's feet to the fire.
Yeah.
If in fact this project, the owner does not intend on building the property. She would like to sell it.
Okay.
And she's entertaining a couple of
Those 2 extras. I got 2 already.
options to sell at this
Okay.
point.
Okay.
But basically I explained to Judy that if in fact she does sell the property, the contractor, if he wishes to change anything on the plans, it's noted in the detailed notes that any changes would require an amended order of conditions through the commission. And basically, the way I developed the property was the easiest, least expensive way
You have a full set?
to develop, yeah. Well, that's actually, that's 21. What they call the minimum standards required to develop a septic system, which was approved by the Board of Health. And then we met all the requirements, the setbacks for the building setbacks, conservation setbacks. There's no work within the 25-foot zone. We added straw bales along the lower erosion control line, just because they're a lot better at stopping the erosion in cases where we have some slope work that's being done. The whole site is sloped.
Yes.
And the wetlands, as typical, is on the lower side of the slope, so we need to have the erosion controls beefed up for that purpose. I also did the intermediate work with, during the construction, there would be temporary erosion controls and stockpile areas during construction. And that was noted on the plan, and also identified Steve and I had, in the site walk, basically what he asked to do was not to look at the plan as though it were completed, but to look at the job during construction. And that's the way we set up the erosion control specifications.
Okay.
So from start to finish, it's identified the problem areas. For instance, the driveway will go in first with the well being drilled first. So that will require certain stone, crushed stone, typical of the driveway, that type of thing. And then when the house goes in, there'll be some stockpiling when they dig out the excavation for the cellar. And that, so in other words, it's all a sequence. That's identified.
Perfect. Could you speak a little bit about the revisions that you made at the bottom of the driveway along the property line?
Okay, we added a turnaround. We didn't have a turnaround in the original plan. So we added a turnaround, and we developed it in such a way that it would be fairly level in front of the garage. And then we put some additional stonework. Again, in one case, there's a cut into the slope, and in the other, there was a fill when we were doing retaining walls.
And you added that wall with the swale, because Mark was concerned about that water going down the driveway.
Yeah, what we did, the upper side of the driveway had no erosion control or natural stone line swale. So what we did was to keep that water in that side, and also to recharge it, we put in what we call a water quality swale, which goes through the topsoil, subsoil into the base soil, and allows the drainage. Number one, it slows it down because of all the stone, but it also gives it the opportunity to be infiltrated. And what happens in this case here is the stone work will abut the stone work for the driveway itself. So the driveway design with the heavy broken stone is actually a large interceptor drain and that will be in direct contact with the base soil. There'll be no topsoil or subsoil below it. So what happens is it allows all of the drainage to infiltrate in the stone beneath the driveway, and it runs all down. And,
Nice. Then that bottom left corner of the driveway. So you did a 4-foot boulder wall, 5 feet off the property line.
Oh, that property, we moved that wall completely away.
Yes.
You know, the problem, originally, when I was asked to get involved with this, Judy had not sold the property. She had all 3 lots. She owned the house.
Yep.
She lived there.
Yep.
And I said, before you do anything, and before you have your surveyor break up the lots, contact me, and if needed be, we can create easements
Yes.
that will allow construction to be done on the property. Well, they never did that. So you kind of caught me on that one, where there was no easement. The original intention was that the construction go off. That area is an isolated area of upland that's surrounded by wetland.
Okay.
It's never going to be touched by the owner of that lot, because it's just an isolated piece they can't use.
Okay.
So it would have been beneficial for me to use it for a wall and a slope, but it never happened. So as a result, I pushed the wall away from the property line, so there's no need for an easement.
Okay.
I'm basically trying to explain why the wall was there, and if you look at it the way it is, it shouldn't have been there.
Okay. Katie Grace, any comments or questions on the revised plan?
No comments.
Okay, thank you. Board? Eric? Joe?
What are you using on the driveway during construction?
It's a crushed stone, the crushed granite stone that's used for, it's a highway spec, DOT highway spec for roadways and airports.
What size is it?
It's a 2.5 inch to 3 inch crushed granite, and it's it's not a round stone, it's a sharp stone. It's literally crushed, and it packs in.
Okay, so you're planning to remove that stone before installing the permanent driveway?
The driveway will be stone, the stone base will be put in. That's what the well truck is going to drive on.
Right, yeah, Well Road.
Yeah, and there is also a temporary construction entrance, and that's made with the broken stone as well. That portion, the temporary construction entrance is usually removed because it's really full of mud by the time, you're doing the pavement. That portion gets removed and replaced with clean crushed stone. Like I say, the temporary construction entrance is temporary.
Yeah, maybe they can use some of that stone for the filter strip.
Well, generally what happens is it's like a chatter strip and all the mud falls off the wheels.
Yeah.
And also, when they're driving through, this site collects all of the drainage from Spring Street, from the hill above.
Spring Street?
It all runs down. It's
Birch Street.
Birch Street. Birch Street, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I have another site today.
No, this is Spring.
Yeah. But we have a lot of drainage, and the dirt that comes down the road actually ends up going into the area where the driveway is now. That's all going to be cleaned up. So what I anticipate is the stone will be used as fill when we build the septic system.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It'll be replaced.
Okay.
It won't be thrown away. It'll be
Yeah.
used.
We just want to make sure it's moving into a location that it is
Oh, yeah,
allowed to
we
move
wouldn't- we
into.
couldn't- Yeah, the whole idea of the driveway stone and the filter strips is, those are process washed stone. We don't want any of that crap getting into it.
Okay. Joe, anything else?
No.
Okay. Mike? Mark?
No?
Katie Grace?
I have no comments on it.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
One other thing.
Yep.
On those filled areas. like,
Pardon me?
On the filled areas, like where the foundation is in that back corner, where the 604 comes in, that's 9 feet.
There is a fair amount of fill. That'll be clean fill.
Okay.
And what we did was we did some cutting in the front of the building and some filling in the back, so that it kind of meets about halfway in the building. The only other thing you could do to lower the fill would make the driveway steeper, and I didn't want to do that. So if you look at the steepness of the driveway and where it levels out in the front, it kind of requires the sill elevation be where it is, just because you don't want the driveway to be too steep.
Well, I'm just looking at it that there, and then when you cut for the frost protection and so forth, I mean, where you gonna,
Oh, yeah, there'll be plenty of protection, on that. It's a step-down foundation.
Right. I just was curious as to how good
Yeah,
the base is.
and
That's
also
material.
the foundation has to meet the requirements of the
Right.
building inspector. Yeah, this building, if you look at it, it will require, the architectural plans and all that. That has to get approved through the building department.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
So moved. Motion made by Joe, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Curtis, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark
Katie
Mondula?
Dudley, aye.
And I'll just shout out, anyone in the audience have any questions on this? I'm not seeing anybody anywhere, but, all right. Public hearing is closed. I'll entertain motion to issue the order of conditions for 21 Birch Street.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike,
Get the next one? Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much. Next item will be our last item. Notice of intent, Lot 3R, 19 Birch Street.
Again, Bob Murphy, representing the owner, Judy Barron, 19 Birch Street, Lot 3R. This lot is basically a sister image of the previous lot in that we beefed up the erosion controls on the lower side to use straw bales, silt fence. And we added additional information relative to the crushed stone in the driveway, the water quality swales on either side of the driveway.
Okay.
And this lot did not have a retaining wall on the property line, so we didn't have an issue with moving any of the retaining walls.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I'll answer any questions that you...
Okay, that was the only change that you had made?
Yeah, I added a turnaround to the base of the driveway,
Okay.
and I added a lot of additional notes to the erosion control sequence. And again, I appreciate the Conservation Commission's position where you give out an order to the owner and the owner sells it and the guy who builds it, does whatever he wants to do. So this was specifically written up so that the plans, and specifically the stormwater management plan, gets recorded with the registry. So it runs with the deed.
Right.
And so
And something for
later
Steve to point to.
homeowners, right. There is an on-site drainage system that we added for the roof drainage, the Cultec chambers. This has to be maintained. There is a filter box placed at the base of the downspouts, so that a lot of times you can get leaves and acorns and things. This will catch all the garbage coming down through the downspout. So that's the main issue with
On this one.
subsurface infiltration system, is to keep it clean.
Yeah.
And those notes were put in as part of the erosion control sequence. So whoever builds this, purchases, from what I understand, there is a builder looking at it and he's going to live there. But again, if he sells it, everything, all the documents you have for erosion control and maintenance, O&M, are recorded.
What's the revised plan date that you have?
The 5th.
There are actually two plans. There's a site plan that had the whole site. That was revised. The second plan, which has all the notes on it, that's the original plan.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that would have, whatever the date is on that.
I've got it revised through December 12th, and that's why I'm not seeing the turnarounds on the bottom at the street.
Doesn't have them in there?
No, this is an old one, I think.
Yeah, this plan, I have a copy.
Yeah, I'll just take a peek.
This is the latest with the notes. This one was, this shows the turnaround on both of the lots. There's a turnaround right at, this one goes up and the other one goes down.
Okay, so the one that yeah, I thought you said bottom of the driveway.
Well, right in front of the house.
I thought it was the bottom. Oh, okay. I would say that's the top, right? No, from the street down, okay. Okay, perfect. Let me see, what's the date on that plan?
Date on this is revised 12/12/2022.
Okay, all right, so it is 12/12. All right, no, we do have the correct plans. It was me.
12/12?
Yes. Katie Grace, any comments or questions on this hearing?
I have none on this item.
Okay, anyone in the audience have questions or concerns? Commission? Questions or concerns?
I have a comment. I hate
Yes.
this plan. With a passion. I hate the 2-to-1 slope going down into a retaining wall and all the elevation change, and a 20-foot wall off of the turnaround for the driveway. So, I mean, we know we're going to have to add some kind of guardrail or something around there. I just hate this plan.
Okay, that's a comment.
The majority, I could add, the majority of the slopes are not 2-to-1 though, they're greater, they're like 2.5. The steep, there are a couple of areas where there is 2-to-1 slopes, but the majority of them are 3-to-1 and 2.
So after the filter strip, you've got 2-to-1, and you're saying you're putting grass there.
I mean, the concern I got is the corner over by the well. That's pretty steep right there, and there's nothing beyond it to stop it. And that corner alone is, it's gonna be what, 8 feet? That's 8 feet.
608.
We have 8 feet of concrete out of the ground. And then when you go beyond it, it starts dropping pretty quick. When you get to the well, it starts dropping really fast.
Well, again, these rocks are a couple of feet high, above the ground. They're not,
I understand that, but I'm saying if you look in that area where the sump is and all that, there's nothing there. That's the corner I'm talking about. That's pretty steep. Now you're gonna stabilize that while you're working there.
which area below the septic is 3-to-1?
No, where the well is. See where the well is in the back
Oh,
corner?
yeah.
And then you get the sump. You look at those grades dropping down, they're dropping fast.
Yeah, it's at, the well's at 600, the corner of the house is like 608, and then,
The sill's at 617.
Right near the area where the sump is, again, what we were trying to do is stay away from the 25-foot no disturb area, so we, we made it fairly steep there. That's below an area where there's grass behind the house. It's fairly level. Then there's a retaining wall that's 606 or 610, a 4-foot wall. And then it's a terraced wall. It goes down. But those are 2.5. I mean, that slope could actually be pushed out, so it wouldn't be as steep. Because the 25-foot buffer zone is quite a ways away from that area.
yeah, we
I'm looking at
usually,
what-
structures
How are you
50
gonna
feet.
stop that from washing out?
Yeah,
It's 2-to-1. That's state highway spec.
well, he's got straw bales planned on the bottom corner there,
But also, there's a note,
and the sump.
any areas, 2-to-1 slopes, they all have to be seeded with the reinforced organic matting. They
Geotech.
call it geotech or a wrap.
Yeah,
And that's specific in the notes as well. So any notes, any slopes, for instance, these 2-to-1 slopes, they have to be,
Within 2 weeks, ain't it?
pardon me?
Within 2 weeks? Within 2 weeks?
Yeah, the,
Must be stable?
yeah, all slopes left open for 15 days have to be stabilized and seeded, planted. Again, that's a DEP spec that no one seems to follow, but that's a stormwater management spec.
I think people have been using it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
It's
people
trending.
don't follow it. I'm on sites
Trending.
all the time that are, I mean, the weeds grow
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
But again, I specifically stated this so that the contractor involved, it's there, it's part of the order, he has to follow it.
Okay.
These areas aren't going to be mowed. Is grass the best?
No, they're not grass. They're brush.
Well, your 2-to-1 says grass, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm reading on the plan. It says grass, 2-to-1 slope.
Basically, that was to show that it was vegetated. But I don't see anybody mowing a 2-to-1 slope.
Right, exactly.
Brush.
Especially with the retaining wall at the
Brush
bottom of that
weeds.
slope.
Only do it once.
Only-
No, these are, in fact, all the areas where I didn't want to have mowed are the sloped areas. Even below the septic system, it's a 3-to-1 slope for the breakout. But,
They'll probably be calling you to lay it out.
oh yeah, we will be involved in the construction. I worked with the surveyor who surveyed the property and split it up after the fact. I had to change the property lines because they weren't done right.
Oh, geez.
But this site will be staked out by a professional surveyor, it'll have to be.
Yep. So do you have a note on here, the type of seating on the slopes?
Yes. Yeah.
What number is that?
It's what they call a conservation seed mix. They're all
I'm seeing 33% numerical.
33% of 3 different types of grass.
33% chewing fescue and 33% annual ryegrass.
And these all do well in dry soils.
Yeah, but that only leaves you with bluegrass and fescue, because the annual ryegrass is just that, it's an annual. Shouldn't there be a more
Well, the annual ryegrass
More perennial
is a
grass in there?
fast germinating grass that germinates much faster than regular grass.
right?
And what that does is get a root hold immediately. And then that only lasts for a year. That dies out and the perennial grasses come in. And then the shrub, the grass, actually the weeds are going to take over in a year or so. You'll have brush and weeds, brush weed mix. It's all native stuff. Yeah, the annual ryegrass is just a quick germination to hold the slope.
Hydroseed?
Pardon me?
Are they going to hydroseed that?
Yeah, it'll be hydroseed. It'll conservation seed mix,
Good.
hydroseed.
Okay. It's your pleasure, board. I already called for comments, no comments. Ready to close the hearing? Anybody? Motion to close?
I'll close it.
Motion made by Joe,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Fairfax side.
Joe Patrick, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, board? Before I entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
I've already
moved.
made my concerns, so.
Okay. No other option for that well, right?
As far as,
Anything. That's the very best spot.
oh yeah, that's 100 feet away from
Exactly.
the neighbor's well and the 2 wells.
Neighbor's septic or neighbor's well?
The septic, it has to be 100 feet away. We found what we believe was on the abutting property, we found an old cesspool. And we couldncouldn't determine if that was still being used along with the newer system, so we just stayed 100 feet away from it.
Okay.
Yeah, the several things. The Board of Health required that the well be 25 feet away from the house, which is normally 10, but in this case, 25, so that pushed it down a little.
Why?
Board of Health required it. It's one of their bylaws.
Oh, from the driveway.
From the house, the foundation of the house.
Oh.
That pushed it a little
Oh,
further.
from foundations, yeah, that's their local,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a local bylaw.
Thought it was a driveway.
No, the driveway, well, you could be right next to a driveway. But in this case here, it was the neighbor's septic, the owner's septic, the house foundation, and the sideline setbacks. That was pretty much the only, and the wetlands. It has a
Yeah.
minimum of 50 feet in the wetlands. So that was pretty much the only place it could go.
Okay. Okay, if there aren't any other questions, I'll entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike, second by Eric. All those in favor?
Joe Fitzpatrick, nay.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, no.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, you all set?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, we have one more item. Request for determination of applicability. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, legal notice for public meeting, request for determination of applicability. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Douglas Schools on January 9th, 2023 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability project involves upgrading an existing access road located off 77 Davis Street to create a secondary emergency access road which will connect to the back of the Douglas High School. Work within the buffer zone includes the placement and grading of suitable materials to create a stable surface. Erosion control measures will be utilized along the edges of the upgraded access road within the buffer zone. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law.
Number 7 in the tabs.
7 on the tabs. General Law, Chapter 38, Section 18, the public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the application may be examined electronically by contacting Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205. So,
I don't think Bob
we,
in there might not be able to attend, so
yeah,
updated me on what he plans on doing. I had it
Okay.
on the screen here. The access road, you have the existing high school, everything in purple. I just kind of sketched it in, but this is pretty much outside the jurisdiction of the commission. They're going to try to do a road off of Davis Street and then come up into the back of this school. The area in red is pretty much, there's an existing gravel path, cart path already there. See, it's got a gate. Pretty much everything in the red is within the jurisdiction of the conservation. Purple's outside of it.
okay, great. So that's what my question was going to be. So the existing path is the only area within the buffer.
that goes back to, see if I can bring up a photo here. So here's a photo, pretty much at the gate, right at Route 16. And as you come through to the left, there's a pond to the left, and there's a culvert that comes underneath, and then it flows down into the waterway.
We have a delineation of the wetland of the pond. Or?
There isn't, it's just, oh, Bob's right here, so it's really just what observed. I think what they plan on doing is just, maybe Bob can kind of update what they plan on doing with the gravel path.
We're in the buffer zone?
Yeah.
Yep, is there a named brook also, or is that an intermittent stream? With that culvert?
It's intermittent.
Okay.
It's dry right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so walk us through the width and the construction and any increases in the footprint of what is existing, because we really only want to pay attention to that front entrance portion.
Yes.
So tell us if there's any widening and what the overall width is going to be after the work is done.
Okay, for the record, Bob and Eric, Economic Development. Right now, there's about a 50, I would say a 50-foot wide road, which is undeveloped. We plan on making it 24-foot wide developed, which would include, I would say, a 6-inch gravel base or stone, whatever it takes to stabilize it, and then finish it with 4 to 6 inches of grindings and roll it
Okay,
to create a stable road.
so as it exists on the ground today, you're saying it's approximately 50 feet wide?
From edge to edge, yes. We'll be taking half of that, the middle portion. Basically, the middle portion.
Okay,
The gate is only 30 feet wide, but there's still 10 more feet on each side of the gate.
okay. Do we care either way, if it's in the center or to the right side of the way?
The right side would create a tighter turn on the end into the field. Left or center would be preferable just for emergency vehicles. If you get fire apparatus coming in, they're not coming in slow. They're coming in there for a purpose.
See, that's 50 feet wide.
It's overgrown. From edge of culvert to edge of culvert, it's wide.
So is there any clearing that would be necessary?
Small grass, the stuff like, overgrown.
Nothing over 6-inch caliper, right?
Oh, definitely not. No, that is well off to the sides.
Okay,
There'll be no tree cutting in that area whatsoever.
okay. No tree cutting. Total overall improved width is no greater than 24 feet, right?
Correct. We're looking for a 24-foot finished road.
Yep, with stone and regrind surface.
The gravel, stone, whatever stabilizes the surface. I know at one time there was some water runoff, but that was frozen ground with a rainstorm. We don't plan on working that area while it's wet.
Okay. What are you proposing for erosion controls?
We could do stakes and hay bales down the side.
Stake straw wattle, 9-inch?
If it's done in a dry day, a dry week, do we need anything?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Stake straw wattles. Steve, when I'm looking at this picture
Yeah.
with the little blue box on it, what is that? So the one with the purple and the pink, this right here?
Well, that's kind of my estimate. This is all estimate from GIS. GIS didn't have that, that's with,
Oh, the wetland.
yeah, so.
Okay.
There's a little culvert, you can see on my, on the PowerPoint. When the water that comes from the pond on the right side to the left. You see in the PowerPoint that I did. There's a little stone culvert in the bottom middle. That's what I kind of drew in.
Okay.
The
It's
aerial-
still continuing.
Yeah, it's just where the water goes through, yeah, it's just approximate.
Okay, so
This is
you'll,
the end of the pipe.
That's the end of the pipe. It comes, when it comes from the pond down gradient towards the entrance to the school, there's a little sluice way. There must have been a mill there at one time.
And it looks like a stone dam at the end of it to create a pocket
So
for
that-
water.
oh, yeah, yeah. Cranberry bog. Could do cranberries. Yeah, so I would suggest erosion control on both
Both
sides.
sides.
And 9-inch until you reach the edge of the field. So along both sides of the pink, our jurisdictional area,
That's what we expected.
yeah.
Have you consulted with the fire chief and make sure that 24 is wide enough for what they want to do? Emergency
yes.
vehicles?
Yes. Most of the roads in town are 10 feet.
I understand it, but I mean, if you got two engines,
Yeah,
Make sure they can
24
afford to get by.
is plenty.
And are you slanting or crowning the regrind?
There's not much you can do with regrind. I mean, you can crown it to a degree,
Okay,
but people are going to wear out the crown if they
Okay.
travel it.
so if we're pitching it, which way do you plan to pitch it?
If it's a crown, it'd be both ways.
Yes, but you're saying it's not. So I don't know if we have a preference where we want the flow.
I'd say you want to go toward the pond, that's the upside of it.
I don't know.
Where does it go
I
now?
think now it's super, well, right now it goes towards Davis.
To the street?
Yeah, we don't want it towards the street. You'd rather
Yeah, so that's
divert it
another
off to
thing
the
about
side.
the grading, so no water to be directed to Davis Street.
Well, we're stuck with two grades, Davis Street grade and the field grade.
Yes,
We're just stuck with those two ends.
yeah,
And we'll just do a straight line distance and pitch it, crown it, so it's going each way.
okay. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, you can do that. Concern, you want to put something to slow it down so it doesn't go on Davis Street, that's what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah,
So if you got to flatten that beginning, because I know the area, if you got to flatten it out a little bit, then that's what we got to do.
I think it is flat up to the gate. It might
I'm saying,
even, the
you want to
gate
make
might
sure you
even
don't
be
get water.
lower than Davis Street.
Okay, if the gate's lower.
Again, I don't have elevations, but just walking it, Steve, do you remember?
well, whomever is grading it needs to be aware
Aware.
that there's a water issue, and if they can repair it.
The highway is well aware there's a water issue there.
Okay, so everybody work
we
together.
get anybody-
So the highway's doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we get everybody to shoot some grades so we'll know where we're at here rather than,
Well, the town highway departments,
The highway department's
Doing
doing
it.
the whole thing.
so
It's in-house.
we can condition it
yeah, you just want to keep that water out.
to either,
I mean, is it being excavated before it's the base and the...
Uh,
Just throwing down a
just
small
going-
base just to keep it above a frost level.
Wait, what?
Basically 6 inches of either stone or gravel or combination
On top of the existing...
on top of the, the
that-
top will be scraped to get rid of all the debris, the brush. That will create, just pushing the moss and whatever, leaves, will create a berm off to the side. The first 6 inches will probably fill in that void. But no, there won't be excavation per se.
Where is town on this drawing? At the top or at the bottom?
You're at the bottom red, the red area. That's what we're talking about.
Well, that's Route 16, I assume.
Yes.
And its town would be the right, bottom right?
The town,
If I'm coming down Highway 16, which way would I be going? If I was
You'd be coming
into
from the
town?
school.
Going towards Oxford, this side, that opposite side is going towards town, towards Douglas.
Oh, town is up top then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oxford is this way,
Ah,
Route 146.
Going toward town.
So the town, going towards the town is going up the picture to the left.
so You're not going to basically dig down, you're just going to add to the top of it.
So you're going to be a foot higher.
So you're going to make it,
So that's-
whatever slopes you see, you're going to make it worse than what it is now.
Well, right now, you go into a rut to get into it. It's possible to create either level or dip area off of Davis Street. It's tough to see with that picture.
So,
Can we do
couple
a-
running
can we do a
conditions.
visit? Can we do a
What?
visit to it?
Yeah, when were you planning to do the work?
Well into late spring, early summer,
Okay,
dry season.
I
okay,
think it might be worth taking a look at it.
okay. Do you want to do the 21st after the 10 o'clock one?
It's fine.
Okay. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. 21st is what day?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah. We have a site visit at 10 and we'll go over there after. Would you be able to gather some information for us in the meantime?
As far as?
Like some grades maybe, shoot some grades, see what
I don't know.
highway says?
I can ask John Fernal.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've got a level, whether we can shoot grades.
I think they
I
would.
got a transit.
Okay. And if they have some suggestions on how they're going to either maintain the flow of water or make it better, improve the flow of water to Davis Street, if they have some ideas or, I mean, I understand that they've got the dip right now to prevent it, but Mark's
We
right.
should care more about the flow of water into the brook and the pond. We're Conservation Commission, shouldn't we worry about that more than?
We'd like water well, it's, the street is within 100,
True.
so.
You're looking at it both, but I mean, the other thing you want to concern is that it's not running out that road either.
Yeah, when he said recycled gravel, I've seen where that stuff can really move, you know, and so I don't want to see that stuff running off
Yeah, the regrind.
running off into the edges and running down the side,
The
the bank.
regrind will move.
It won't?
It will.
Yeah,
It
I
will
know,
move.
exactly.
So, I mean, you're going to end up with a possibility of it ending up in that brook over time. So,
And then we could get approximate distances, so maybe a couple stakes, the 50 feet, and then where you think, no,
Put the center line down.
yeah, if you could do that, and then we can kind of see what the distance, what we have for actual distance from edge of finished roadway to the resource area on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the 21st.
Yep, we'll plan on doing something on Friday.
Okay, great.
Well, we have a sidewalk on John, 21st.
Yeah, he's gonna start preparing just any other information, and then we can see what the distance, the actual distance from wetland edge to the edge of the scope of work.
Because actually, we don't have to do anything. We could leave it as is. We're just trying to mark a road out so merchants' equipment will know to stay in the lane.
Right.
Because right
so-
now, it's an existing road. School buses have used it, trucks have used it.
Right, we understand, but the earth movement, the earthwork, and so if it's not stable, or what's the primary concern? If you're saying now that you can use it as it is, what's spurring this?
To make it consistent through, we plan on very soon doing the school end, and once that's completed, that's the choke point right now. The field is usable, this driveway is usable, the emergency access will be usable.
Well, my opinion would be you are allowed to do whatever you want to do on that school end to the field edge.
Right.
So you're not within our jurisdiction, so you could improve right now and then still utilize that roadway, you're saying?
Correct. So you have an immediate emergency access available, which is the whole goal of this whole operation.
So you are allowed to do that activity today?
Yes.
Yes.
correct?
So leaving out, right, up until the red. So leaving out our portion, what would be, so are you adding like the foot?
It's gonna, the school end will require grading. Right now, it's just about 8 lanes passable for a pickup truck.
Okay. Okay, but you know where I'm going with that. If, you know, the reasoning on improving this area, and we don't want to, I do have a concern about the erosion and the stormwater exiting the property. So if we can help that, that would be great. But you could do the pinch point, or the point of the issue. You can go ahead and do it.
Yeah, anything in the purple can be done.
Yeah. And that's what you're saying you're concerned
Right,
about.
outside your area, we plan on doing that quickly, so they have an emergency access readily available.
Okay. All right, so,
I don't know if you can answer this, but will the gate remain?
The gate right now is not locked. It looks like it's locked, but it's a linchpin, or some type of, not a linchpin, but it is a, I forget what they call it. It's just, the chain's just hooked together.
But you know if it's going to stay so that it will, you know, keep people from driving up that way into the school property?
I think that's something that the fire department's gonna call on, because they got emergency access, they gotta be able to get that gate open, so.
Oh, obviously, right.
Yeah,
They
the
would have
box.
to have a
Usually the
key
fire-
or have
The
a
knock
breaker or
box.
something like
Usually the
that.
fire
but-
chief's the one that makes a call on how he wants that secured.
Yeah, right
But
now.
I think the school, for security purposes, I would think they would want to have it still be gated so that people can't just come into the
Right.
back of the school without their knowing it. So,
Because right now, you can get to the front of the school.
correct.
without anybody knowing it?
Unopposed.
Well, it's a little bit more obvious.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's the plan. So, Steve, if you could work with Bob.
Are we going to continue this?
Yes.
To the 23rd?
Yes,
And then are you going to do a site walk on the 21st?
yes. Good. Everybody good with that? Katie Grace, did you have any questions?
No, not on the grading or anything else, just this land is already owned by the town or the school?
Yes.
Yes to both.
I'll entertain a motion to continue this RDA to January 23rd at 7 PM.
So moved.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Mark. All those in favor?
Eric Riverside.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark.
Yes.
Okay, Katie Grace?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll
You're
see you
welcome.
on the 21st.
I have another game on the 21st, so it's going to be
On the Saturday?
same time,
No, the 23rd?
23rd,
Yeah.
Monday.
Well, why don't we try to get the answers to Steve, and you could zoom in if you
Well, we're
want.
going to see you anyways on the
Yeah.
21st.
Yeah. So if we don't have all the answers,
You will.
then you'll have to come to the meeting. Okay, Steve, anything else?
Not for this, no.
Anything else for the meeting?
Just the stuff in the mail. I think there's a thank you card in there.
Yeah, everybody can take a look at it.
Yeah.
Katie Grace sent the commission a thank you card for the baby gift. So that's in there. You can pull it out if you want.
that's
Thank
it.
you
I
very,
don't know if you have-
thank you for the
You're
thank you card.
Is there a couple of vouchers that you might have to vote on in your TV sign folder? Your folder?
Why are we voting?
Oh, then maybe
Vote on the graves?
not. No, I don't know. Is it
This, in here?
voucher in your TV sign folder, the blue one?
Yeah, I already signed them.
Eric's got it.
Yeah. I don't think that needs a vote.
All right, as long as you don't think so.
No,
Okay, good.
no, those are, yeah, those are.
Okay.
Those,
Just checking.
the applicant's paying for those.
All set then.
Yeah. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Mark,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Riverside.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mundry, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much.